I spent years learning that real influence does not require loud rooms or raised voices. My work lived in the systems that kept the company stable through market shifts and executive reshuffling. I arrived each day with the same intention: to strengthen structures that would outlive temporary leadership. The boardroom felt familiar to me, a place where consistency mattered more than showmanship. I watched the son of the CEO present a patent I created as if it were the result of his own effort. Every number, every projection, every model came from research I carried alone for months. The room responded to his confidence instead of the truth. No one asked how he built it. No one noticed my silence. That afternoon, I was dismissed with courteous words shaped to sound progressive. The decision did not surprise me. I understood that the goal was not improvement, but removal. Leaving the building, I felt no anger, only clarity. He believed the patent was the treasure. He did not see the person who understood every layer of it. He never realized I held the gate he depended on. I returned to the years when the idea first took shape. The company was smaller then, and leadership changed often, so I chose to build something that could survive shifting ambitions. I studied patterns of growth and decline and learned that stability never comes from titles. Stability comes from structure. When the patent began to take form, I understood that its value would attract interest from people who cared more about credit than commitment, so I planned for a future none of them imagined. I negotiated a contract written in simple language with clear protections. The clauses guarded continuity and ensured that control would rest with the person who carried the technical burden. I included safeguards for moments when confidence might overshadow competence. I did not share these intentions widely because anticipation often prevents necessary clarity. Experience teaches that people repeat familiar behavior. It was not suspicion. It was recognition shaped by years of watching decisions rise and fall. As the air gained influence, I saw the separation between inherited certainty and earned caution. I trusted the contract because I trusted the work behind it. That difference guided everything followed. I remember the morning I opened the document that held the clause. There was no tension in the room and no audience waiting for a response. I read each line with the same calm attention I gave it years earlier. When I confirmed the breach, I carried out the action with deliberate certainty. The system recorded the update instantly. There was no announcement and no visible shift in the office atmosphere. Yet the decision moved through the company like a quiet current. Within hours, production screens displayed delays that no one could explain. Engineers gathered around terminals, searching for the source of a problem that did not respond to normal resets. Legal teams reviewed files while managers tried to maintain control of their schedules. Confusion grew faster than answers. The son of the CEO remained confident that everything would return to normal. He encouraged patience and insisted that technical teams were exaggerating. He did not understand that the license had already stopped breathing. As the day progressed, the system obeyed the structure I built long ago. It corrected the imbalance created by arrogance, and it did so without requiring my presence. Order returned through design, not noise. When the license disappeared from the system, the next chain of events did not require my involvement. Financial networks respond to filings long before executives notice. Once the breach was registered, automated reviews began moving silently through the databases of banks and regulatory services. These institutions do not wait for explanations. They follow procedures shaped by risk, and risk does not tolerate uncertainty. The company entered a category that required immediate caution. Accounts that once moved freely began to slow. Verifications replaced routine transactions. Partners received quiet notifications advising them to limit exposure until clarity returned. None of these actions carried emotion. They reflected obligations written to protect investors. The son of the CEO noticed the change only after routine transfers failed. He assumed it was temporary and placed the blame on internal systems. As hours passed, he saw vendors stepping back and advisors withdrawing support. Meetings grew tense as leadership realized that no conversation could reverse what had already begun. The freeze did not target him personally. It followed rules created to preserve stability. Long after respect faded, those rules remained in place. The truth settled slowly. Money listens to structure, not pride. The board gathered for an unscheduled meeting early in the morning. I was not invited, and I did not need to be. The lawyers entered first, carrying folders filled with timelines and contract excerpts. They spoke with measured clarity, presenting the sequence of events from the moment the patent was taken to the moment the license vanished. Each point was reviewed slowly, leaving no room for interpretation. The directors listened in silence as the structure behind the collapse became visible. The CEO realized that the issue extended beyond a single error. It reflected a deeper problem rooted in assumption. His son had stepped into authority without understanding the weight of responsibility tied to it. What began as enthusiasm had become liability. Partners were withdrawing, systems were stalled, and financial institutions demanded explanations. The discussion shifted from shock to strategy. Questions were asked about continuity, leadership, and the future of the company. Decisions were made without public announcements. Titles were reconsidered and roles were reassigned. The board acted not out of emotion but necessity. When the meeting ended, the balance of influence had changed. Power moved quietly toward those who understood structure rather than those who inherited position. In the days that followed the collapse of their plans, I received discreet messages suggesting that the company might reconsider its decision. None of these messages were official, and none came with genuine understanding of what had unfolded. I read them with quiet clarity. Returning would have meant accepting a position defined by convenience rather than respect. Authority gained through necessity is not authority at all. I had spent years building systems that protected the organization. A title could not replace the independence that foresight had given me. I reflected on the years when my work shaped the very framework the company relied on. My sense of identity had never come from the office walls or the name on the door. It came from the choices that allowed me to stand apart from disorder. Stepping back was not loss. It was confirmation that I no longer needed access to contribute value. Distance offered something the role never could, a vantage point free from the noise of internal ambition. From that distance, I understood the truth with greater certainty. Gates are not pushed open by force. They respond only to the person who understands how they were built. Experience becomes a form of architecture once you move beyond the need to prove yourself. With time, you stop reacting to every shift in the room and begin shaping the environment in which decisions are made. You learn that speed rarely wins anything lasting. What matters is placement, timing, and the ability to read patterns before others notice them. Years of work teach you that influence grows from understanding what holds systems together, not from demanding attention. I speak to those who have carried responsibilities quietly while others claimed visibility. Many professionals reach a stage where silence is not withdrawal but preparation. Patience becomes an investment rather than a requirement. You wait not because you hesitate, but because you know that clarity appears only to those who allow situations to reveal themselves fully. Age becomes an advantage when you recognize that urgency is often a disguise for insecurity. Confidence grows from knowing you have seen enough cycles to separate noise from genuine risk. You move differently when you understand structure. You choose your moments with intention. In the end, respect is not requested. It is built through decisions that outlast the moment and through frameworks only experience can design. I speak now with the clarity that comes only after distance. This story was never about a single decision or a single heir who believed confidence could replace understanding. It was about the quiet truth that preparation endures long after ego fades. Systems remember the person who built them, even when people choose to forget. I share this not with bitterness, but with certainty shaped by years of watching ambition rise and collapse in predictable cycles. To the audience listening, especially those who have seen their work overlooked or their experience dismissed, understand this. Your value is not measured by applause. It is measured by the strength of what remains when others attempt to claim what they never carried. The world rarely teaches patience to those who inherit power. It teaches it to those who earn perspective through years of consistent effort. This story serves as a warning to anyone who believes they can remove the foundation without consequence. It also stands as a reminder to those who build quietly. You are never as replaceable as others insist. They believed I was simply part of the staff. In time they learned I was the structure holding everything in place.